Hi, how are you? I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. That was very sweet of you. So it is halfway through Preptober, which means it's almost time for Nano, the most wonderful time of the year. Right up there with Christmas and Easter. Those are like my favorite holidays. Oh, and Halloween. But anyway, that's not what you tuned in for. You did not click on this video to get my ranking of my favorite holidays. You clicked on here for other reasons. So yes, it is almost time for Nano, the most wonderful time of the year. And the reason why I always say it is one of the most wonderful times of the year is because I love that concentrated writing time. It is just focused, concentrated, just write. That's it. That's my only job in the month, is just to write. Not literally, because I still have a job, but I have an excuse when people say, hey, do you want to hang out? I can just say, oh no, it's Nano, I have to write. It's not like I don't want to hang out with my friends. I love hanging out with my friends. It's just that I really want to write sometimes, and I need that excuse sometimes to, just write. So that's what I do. And then also it's great for my ADD brain, because it is so hard for me to focus on a regular basis. Like right now there is a little, that was really annoying. There was a little piece of fuzz floating in the air, and it was distracting. Anyway, ADD brain. So I like having that concentrated, focused time where I can just write with no distractions, or low distractions. I shouldn't say no distractions, it's low distractions. So I love that. And then also getting to spend time with other writers, which I absolutely love, because in my day job I don't get to spend time with other writers. I spend time primarily with musicians, which is great. I'm learning a lot, and they're all really nice people and all of that. So I'm not complaining. It's just sometimes when you say something and they don't quite get it, it's like when they say stuff to me and about music, and I'll be like, I understand, but I don't get it. I just don't get the details, the nuances of it. So having people that also write that I can talk to is great, and I love it. And what was that noise? I don't know what that was. Hopefully it was nothing. Anyway, so that's why I love Nano. So when Preptober comes up, I am always like super excited, because then I get to work on a brand new story and get all of my creative juices going and get all of my, thoughts down on paper, and I get to outline and find new characters and get to know them and what they do and what they like and what they hate and all of that kind of stuff, and what their goal in life is. It's just, oh, I love it. However, this year, I'm not doing that. This year, I'm going to be a rebel. Or, I don't know. I'm terrible at being a rebel. I've never been a rebel before in my life. This is my first chance at it. And yeah, and it's a writing rebel. But yeah, so I'm going to be a Nano rebel this year, because I said I was going to finish that book by the end of the year. Well, in order to do that, I need this concentrated writing time to focus and put words down on paper. So I don't get to have the fun of exploring new characters and chasing that shiny new story, which I really wish I could, because I had a couple of ideas come to mind and I had to just write them down and shove them away and store them for later, which really sucks. I'm so frustrated. But it will be worth it to finish this book. So that's what I'm doing. I am being a rebel. I'm still going to hit the 50,000 words, but it's going to be in a story that I've already started and that I have worked on previously on Nano. So, rebellion aside, it is Preptober, or at least it has been Preptober. So these are the tools that I have been using to prep my story for Preptober. Let's see how many times I say Preptober in this video. So, the number one way that I do is I like physical. I like tangible things that I can touch and feel and flip the pages on, and oh, I love it. So, I have what I call my big boy, which is this binder. Look how big this thing is. Yeah, that's huge, and it's full of characters, and the way that I write them up is I focus on their hair, like their physical description, so hair, eye, skin color, and then body type, hair texture, any physical scars or distinguishing marks. Let's see, also height, you gotta have their height on there, and then also a brief description of their personality type. In this story, whether they have magic, and if they do, what kind of magic that they have. And also, what else? That's all I can think of for the characters. Oh yeah, and then a quick little synopsis of their history, anything that happened beforehand. Oh, and also who they're related to. I gotta have who they're related to. So I have their immediate family on the character pages. Now, beyond that, I do have family trees, and they extend beyond this book to the next two books. So they extend pretty far because there's a significant time jump between two of the stories. So where it'll have companion pieces that go along with it that fill in the gap between, but for right now there's a big time jump. Anyway, I'm not going to go into any more detail than that because I want you to have some surprise when you read my book. You're going to read it, right? Right? Yeah, I knew I could count on you. So that is a lot of what I have in the big boy. Oh, there's also, let's see, timelines and, let's see, character synopsis, timelines, family trees, world history, and mythology, all in the big boy. So, I love having it. I've been working on it for years, but you know how big that thing is? Of course you know how big that thing is. You just saw how big that thing is. You know what I'm not doing? Carting it around with me to any in-person write-ins, or if I go to work at a coffee shop. It's just not feasible. Okay? It doesn't work. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. You might think you can make me, but you can't make me. So, instead, what I do is, where did I put it? Index cards. Now, I got this off of Sarah Cannon's channel. Let me look up while I'm talking. I got this off of Sarah Cannon's channel, is to not just have index cards, but also the color coordinating, which you can't really see. Let's see. Let's see if you can see it that way. Yeah, color coordinating. And then also, another tip from her is using your hole punch and a ring bind, or ring book binder, or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. Basically, it's a little ring that you can put on it to take all of your index cards, put them together, and all of that. So it's great. It's nice, physical, tangible. I love it. But while I can do things like that I couldn't put in there, that I didn't put in the big boy, which would be the structure of the story. So having the different acts, and why can't I think of what it's called? I went to school for this and I still am like blanking on what it's called. I'll put it down here or something. But anyway, having the rising action and all of that, you know, the basics of the story structure, a basic in this case 3 act because I'm doing a nice little hero's journey kind of deal. So it's a 3 act structure. So I can put that on the index cards, which works great. I can also put character descriptions, timelines, just like anything where I just need a quick little reminder of things that I can flip through, get a quick reminder, and then be done. So, love it. However, getting into the mood of the story is completely different. So, this is where online resources come in great. So, of course, there is the mood board you can put together on Pinterest, and I've started one of those for this. Then there is the playlist, which is going to be very interesting because it's a medieval setting. It's kind of European, but there's reasons that involve. I can't tell you. Why am I going to tell you? I'm not telling you this. I don't want to spoil the surprise. But either way, there's a reason for it being very Eurocentric. But my point is, it's a European-based medieval setting. So I'm going to have like the lute music and all of the... Is it a lute? I don't know. You would think spending so much time with musicians I would know what instruments are what. But no. Anyway, so that's sort of medieval music. But then there's one character who's from our world, from our time period, almost. She's from the early 2000s. But either way, point is, she gets transported through time and space. So her music is very different. It's going to be very early 2000s based. A lot of rock, a lot of pop. I was about to say that kind of noise. I don't know why I said that. That was that was what I grew up on, was rock and pop of the early 2000s. So no judgments. Anyway, so that's like the things that get me into the mood of the story, the character of the story. But you may think to yourself, what about her outline? That's where something very beautiful that I just discovered comes in very handy, and that is Airtable. We use it at work for basically organizing all of our information and doing automations and all of that kind of stuff. But while I was exploring it, I found that there was a base for writers that is specifically for outlines. And I took almost all of the information in my big boy, and the only thing that I left out were the timelines and family trees, and plugged it all into that Airtable base. And so far, it's been awesome. Now, if I've done my job as a professional YouTuber, that means that somewhere in here there is a screen recording of Airtable. Not of what I actually put in there for my story, because spoilers, but a blank base that I'm just going to play around in. Enjoy.
Okay, so this is how you use Airtable to help plot your novel. So you go to Base, Templates, and then you can either click on Creative and search through there. There are things that are interesting in there that might come in handy for other things, but right now we're focusing on novel planning right here. So click on that, Template, and then it gives you a quick little overview of what's in the template, so you can decide whether it's useful for you or not. Look at all that. Again, could be useful for you, might not be useful for you. I found a lot of it useful. And so you know you want to use this base, or assuming you want to use this base. So you click on Use Template, and then we're going to add it to our base. Okay, and as you can see, you can import your work from other places in case you have it somewhere else on your computer, etc. Go ahead, download it, take a little bit of work off for yourself. But that's not what we're doing today. So it shows first there is scenes where you can go through, put your scenes, what stage of the journey they're in, what characters are involved, what location they're at, even a quick little description of what happens. I found that to be pretty useful. And attachments, just in case you have any interesting random information that you want to add in there. The thing that I found incredibly useful was characters, because I have a lot of characters and I do not remember all of their names. They also have interesting spelling. I have a lot of characters with a lot of names. So it's really nice to have a list of them. Then what type of character they are, although I did change that a little bit to just protagonist, antagonist. I have a lot, and secondary characters, etc., etc. Where they live, who they're aligned with, a quick little description of who they are, and images. I don't remember if I kept the images or not. I think I might have gotten rid of them because I didn't want to have to look for images, but also what scenes they're in. Now, the thing that I added, that I'm going to show you how to do right now, is how to add a field. This is for anybody who doesn't work on Airtable normally for their day job, but just in case you don't, this is how you put in a field. So you put in the name of the field, and what I put in was magic type. And then from there, you pick what type of field you want it to be. And I picked something I just scrolled past. There we go. Multiple select, because the characters in my book are able to do multiple types of magic. For example, I can't think of one off the top of my head, which is not a good sign, but bear with me. Let's say shadow magic. That's not a type that I have in there, but yeah. And light magic, sound magic, water magic, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and then you create the field. And from there, with the multiple select, you can pick what type of magic they do. So this one, let's say they can do shadow magic and water magic. And you know what? Let's throw a little bit of light magic in too. Very powerful character. This character, oh, poor kid, can only do light magic. But this one can do sound and shadow. Okay, so that's how you add a base, or add a field to your base. And from there, you can also name it and change the color. I usually change the color because, yeah, I like pretty colors. I'm a little bit of a girly girl like that, but I'm cool with it. Okay, the other thing that I found incredibly useful for me was mythology. Yeah, I created an entire myth around the magic system, and so it was nice to be able to put that in here. And then locations I didn't find as much of a use for because I only have 3 locations. Well, no, I did find it useful because I have more than 3 locations and one of them is very important. Well, a few of them are very important. But either way, point is, there really is nothing on here that I haven't found useful, and it's basically like taking my big boy and just putting it on something I can use online. So that's how you go through and use Airtable to help plan your novel. All right, now back to what I was saying.
Wasn't that great? Anyway, now that's only if I did my job right. If I didn't, then sorry, you just saw me for no reason. So yeah. So yeah, those are the tools that I use for Nano, and that I have been using for this year's Nano. Airtable, of course, is brand new for me, so I am just now using it. But these are the things that help keep my ADD juiced brain focused and on the story that I'm working on, and also keeps me from going too far off the rails, because while I know where this story is going, I don't know how it's going to get there, because stories have a life and breath of their own. So I don't know how it's going to get to where it's going to get, or even if it's going to get to the exact same destination. I mean, seriously, I was writing a romance novel, accidentally killed off a character that I didn't mean to do, and she was supposed to have a book. And I killed her. I was so upset. I was so depressed. I didn't write for a week. Anyway, that's not the point of this. The point of this is what tools I use for Nano to get ready for Nano. So those are the 5 tools that I use: 2 physical, the big boy binder, and the index cards, and 3 and 3 online resources or tools. 3 online tools that I use. Blech. So that's it. That's what's happening. That's what's up. That's what's now. And that's the end of this video. So if you found this at all useful, just let me know. You know, if you could, drop a little like. Just a little one. It doesn't have to be a big like, just a little one. Just a teeny little boop like. That's it. I'm not asking for much. And also subscribe if you are interested in hearing me ramble about more writer things. And I will see you next week. Okay. Ciao. I think that was good. Should I do it again? 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Oh God, it's like a monster on my face. Hopefully no one will notice that. Maybe if I Jessica Rabbit it again, no one will notice. No. Too much. Pull it together. 3, 2. Why is that so crooked? That's better. Alright. And, ooh, first scripted video ever. 3, 2, 1, go. That's what's going on. That's what's hip. That's what's now. That's not what I was wanting to say. So, look at that. My eyes are watering. Oh my gosh.
Am I even Oh, no, I am recording my voice.
Okay.